Hello, everyone. This is David Delano with Get Sports Strong. You can follow Get Sports Strong on Facebook and Twitter, along with betongetsportstrong.com. A free Major League Baseball pick for Thursday, August 8th, 2019. Yesterday gave out a lot of leans on the video. Went 1 and 2 on the official picks. Top play of the Chicago White Sox was a winner. It's going to sound crazy looking at it, but I took a shot with the Baltimore Orioles again. Plus 225. Absolutely demolished by the Yankees. Before the game was played, I thought it was worth the 225. But, in theory, instead of trying to be sharp there, would have been better off just taking Astros on the run line. And then last game was the official play was the Red Sox on the run line, which that game was actually suspended. But most sports books, that's still, even though technically the Red Sox still had a chance to cover on the run line there with the game being called in the 10th inning or suspended. Run line plays still, count, and that was a loser there. Went 6-1 on the leans from the video yesterday. They're 6-1 or 7-1 on the lean, so that was good, but I wish it was better on the official plays there. And we're going to get into a play for today. Well, then I'll talk a little bit about the NFL preseason. Game that I'm going to look at. First thing I'll say, favorites have really been getting it done lately. There's Astros starting Friday. They got a series with the Orioles, and at least a couple of those games. I of course, have to see the number. I'm not just going to blindly do it, but I'll definitely probably have some Astros run line craze plays in there, as square as that may sound. I mean, some of these teams have absolutely been getting it done. You've got to just look at who's playing well, who's not playing well. Like yesterday was a low line to go against the Tigers. Look, it doesn't really matter at this point. I mean, the Tigers, when they're at a disadvantage, which they usually always are, even though on paper they should win today with at least a pitching matchup, I still wouldn't bet on them. Public sharp. It doesn't really matter. Some of these teams, the Tigers, Marlins aren't playing good right now. Mets are hot. Dodgers, when Kershaw's on the mound at home lately, even in minus 200, they're continually cashing tickets. So you always got to be flexible as far as what's going on. Some of these teams just don't care. You've got some of this pitching is historically bad. And if you never take any of these favorites, you're gonna be missing out. I took the Orioles yesterday. Looked like a lot better value than the Astros on paper. Obviously, it was not. Anyway, let me just get into this here. A game here that has a pretty good price. I'm looking at the game between the Cleveland Indians and the Minnesota Twins, which, looking at this, obviously this game could go either way. You got Mike Clevenger 6-2, 3.07 earned run average against Kyle Gibson, who's 11-4 with a 4.02 earned run average. Now, I like the Cleveland Indians in this game. I'm going to wait just a little bit longer before I lock it in because Cleveland opened up as a minus 116 favorite. Now it's down to 105. Maybe I'll wait a little bit longer and I'll see if I can get plus money on the Cleveland Indians. Minnesota Twins, they've now lost 2 games in a row. Minnesota Twins, all that offense. I know there's probably a perception that the Twins cannot lose 3 games in a row, but this game can go either way. Right now, this is a very big game. Cleveland Indians sitting 2 games behind the Minnesota Twins. Yes, Cleveland is going to be playing on the road at Minnesota, but I think that the Cleveland Indians right now are a better team and that they are going to end up winning the American League Central when all is done. Clevenger in his career, Mike Clevenger's faced the Twins 8 times. He's got a 2.83 earned run average. Kyle Gibson against Cleveland in his career, 3-9 with a 5.34 earned run average. Gibson actually 1-8 at home against the Cleveland Indians. I'm looking a little bit deeper here. Current Minnesota Twins hitters have a 211 batting average and 308 on base percentage lifetime against Clevenger, while Cleveland Indians hitters have a 318 batting average and 414 on base percentage against Kyle Gibson. Cleveland Indians 24-8 in their last 32 games. Twins 12-11 in their last 23 games. Looking at the bullpens, Cleveland has a better bullpen. They beefed up their lineup a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and take the Cleveland Indians. Right now, minus 105. I like that price, but I'm going to see if we can get some plus money on it. So the Cleveland Indians is going to be the free pick for today. Looking at NFL preseason, I really, really wanted to give you a free NFL preseason pick, but I'm not just going to throw anything out there because I don't have anything that I've locked in. A lot of people out there will say, there's a lot of different perceptions. Some people say preseason's the best time to bet on football. Some people will say that smart sports bettors don't bet on football. With everything, you've got to be flexible, right? I don't see anything wrong with betting on the NFL preseason, but you definitely have to proceed with caution. Most sports books, mostly all sports books, the maximums are going to be lower anyway as far as what you can wager in the preseason, but you just got to keep in mind that a lot of these coaches, they're trying different things. They don't necessarily care about winning or losing. Now, there's definitely some trends that are hard to ignore, like the Ravens, for example, with Jim Harbaugh. They've won 13 straight preseason games, and they're 11-2 against the spread in those games. So you always want to know how coaches approach those things. Speaking of the Ravens, I was looking at their game against Jacksonville, and yes, I know they've won 13 in a row. I'm not going to bet against the best, preseason coach in all of football. But at 4 points, -4 for the Ravens, laying 4 points in a preseason game is not something that I like to do. Also, other thing, Pete Carroll, very successful preseason coach. And I was looking at his press conferences, a lot of young guys that are going to be playing. He even said, it's not about winning or losing. And even though, long term, Pete Carroll has been a good coach in the preseason. Seattle was 0-4 last season. But, do you want to bet against Seattle, and lay points? I don't. One thing about if I do bet preseason, just me personally, this is just me. Nothing wrong with anybody who does anything different. I don't like to take favorites in the preseason. If I'm going to take a play, I'm going to take a dog where I can get some points. That's just for the NFL preseason. And last year that trend worked out very well. Anyway, those are just my thoughts for that. Look at press conferences if you have time. I know since 2004, underdogs they're won 52% of the games against the spread in the preseason. And throw the preconceived notions out of the window. I mean, you got to look at who's playing. Don't just look at, the Patriots are better than the Lions. Don't look at, are the Browns better than the Redskins? The hype is. Don't look at that stuff. You got to throw preconceived notions out of the window. The year the Browns didn't win a game, they went undefeated in the preseason. Anyway, official play for today. Major League Baseball pick. We're going to take the Cleveland Indians on the money line right now, minus 105. Make sure to list Clevenger, and I'm actually just going to list Clevenger. I don't know who else the Twins would put out there, but as long as Clevenger goes, I am good to go. God bless everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Good luck on whatever you're playing, and let's have a great day.